Today I'm talking about the SamplePad. I've had this for a few months. I've taken it on stage a few times. There's some stuff I like about it, some stuff I don't like about it. So stuff I do like about it, it was cheap. $148 when I bought it, $138 now. There's nothing even close. The Yamaha and the Roland are both $700-800. Even used, you could buy 3 of these for the same price. So I have heard there's a SamplePad Pro coming out, which is twice the price with about twice as many of everything. And it seems to have fixed a lot of the problems I have. So that's probably the next step for me. But until that comes out, this is definitely the cheapest, best option if you want something that can do sampling. So easy to use is the other nice thing. 4 buttons and a knob. You can't really get lost in it. These two together act as a silence all. Other than that, it's all really straightforward. You can move between your options and then you can edit your options. So the other nice thing about it is it's really small. It only weighs 4 pounds. It's really thin. It's only, it's sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. This doesn't feel bad. This does feel kind of weird though. This brings me to the first thing I don't like, which is the SD card. There's a little ridge on the back there, and you can see it kind of sticks out. I don't know. It's just weird. It hasn't shown any signs of breaking, but it just sketches me out to have something hanging out like that. So, other things not to like, you can't play a beat on it. So, if you just try and go... it's not going to get all of that. You can probably hear it. It doesn't do polyphony. So that's pretty ridiculous in my mind. You can't just put a hi-hat, kick, and snare on it and go. What I've done to get over that is I've made a special set of samples where the kick and the snare have the hi-hat sample on top of them in the sample so that I can do... and it sounds like just smooth hi-hat with the kick and snare. It works. It worked for what I needed it to do recently, but it's definitely a limitation to consider. It is not built for playing beats. It's not built to replace a kit. It is built to do congos or a cowbell or something. I use it for long samples for my band. The problem with that now is you'll see once I switch to a kit with our long samples on it, it processes forever. It's super duper slow. So if you get to the beginning of the song and realize, oh, I need to switch kits, this is all time that you're just sitting there like a dope, waiting for it to figure itself out, waiting. And I actually put a really small sample on this 4th pad, one of the internal ones, so that it would only load these 3, and it still takes all that time.
How does Jeff get
so now it'll
ideas?
trigger a sample. But if we're at that and we go to another kit, it cuts off that sample and starts processing the next set of samples. So you can't overlay your songs, and you got to be on the ball about it. I've timed all my stuff so that I can make it work, but it's something to keep in mind. The other thing with it is when you turn it off and then turn it back on, you are really in for the long haul. If you shut it down on kit 4 and you want to get back to kit 1 or whatever, you've got to wait for kit 4 to load all the way, and then we can go to kit 1. So you sit and wait. And now we can go to another kit. So even if you linger for a second, once it starts processing, you're done. You cannot change kits anymore. You've just got to sit here and wait. So that's a pretty big bummer. It takes a really long time. I've figured out my sets so that I can switch in the middle of songs, and it's okay, but if you forget, you're stuck. Another thing I don't like about it is the sample requirements are kind of ridiculous. They have to be the lowest quality mono waves. So even though it has stereo out, you can only have stereo panning between pads. You can't have a stereo sample of any sort. So that's kind of lame. It only takes 14 megabytes across all the pads, and I haven't found anything over 5 megabytes to work reliably, so as an individual file anyways. So you've got to keep all your things down to 5 max and 14 total, which is pretty limiting for us because in my band we use samples over the whole song, so we have sometimes 1.5 minute long things that we'd like to trigger, and we can't. You have to have pretty short clips. Another thing, this doesn't really affect me, but the internal samples are terrible. There's no hi-hat. There's no just drum sounds really, because they know you're not going to be playing a beat on it. So they don't even give you the option really. Most of the demos I've seen have guys doing linear stuff, so that you can't really tell the limitations, but that's the most basic thing you're going to do and it doesn't work. So not going to replace the drum kit. All it's going to replace is single samples. If you're in a hardcore band and you want to hit an 808 once in a while, it's perfect. If you want, like our band, to sample things that last 30 seconds and you can switch kits between songs, then you're okay. But it's definitely, you have to know what you're working with and know how to work with it. As for why I keep it, it does what I need it to do. If I work with it, it will do what I want it to do. It's reliable so far. It sounds good. It's the only thing in the price range. There isn't really a whole lot of choices. So that's why I keep it. Now that the SamplePad Pro is coming, I'm very likely to move up to that if I keep using samples. But we'll have to see. So here's the back of it. So you've got your kick input here. You can switch between trigger or switch, MIDI out, power on, off, right and left. That's pretty much it.